from White House Field in Harwich, Massachusetts. The Harwich Mariners look to keep it rolling. Well, it took a while to get here, but the power's back on. The burgers are on the grill, and the fans have filed in. We're ready to play baseball here on this lovely Tuesday evening. Pitch the good one, and that is going back. That's a hard hit ball. Back it goes toward the fence. Gone! The Harwich Mariners walk it off.
The Harwich Mariners return back to White House Field after a heartbreaking 4-3 loss at Stony Brook Field against the Brewster Whitecaps to take on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Mariners coming in at 14-16, good for second in the Cape Cod East Division standings, whereas the Harbor Hawks are second in the West at 16-12-1. They've tallied 33 points thus far. A great turnaround they've had today here, Wyatt.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough last 5 games for the All-Star break for the Mariners. They have to face Hyannis, which has won 4 in a row, and then it gets to face Katuitt coming Thursday before we're going back to face Hyannis in McKeon Park. Colin Rothermel on the mound here today. He gave up 5 earned runs in his third start in that 7-6 home winning against Chatham. Certainly needs to induce a little more ground ball contact here.
It'll be Colin Rothermel back on the rubber for the Mariners as he dials in a strike at 5:01. We are underway here at White House. Rothermel out of Kansas State, 6'1", 175-pound right-hander, as that one's popped into foul territory. Long run over for Guerra, and it escapes out of play. The Harbor Hawks lineup looks like this. Leading off, the left fielder, Nick Mitchell. Batting second, the center fielder, Zach Earhart. Batting third, the third baseman, Cam Smith. Zach York bats cleanup at first base. Elijah Hainline is at second, batting fifth. The shortstop is Jonathan Gazdar, batting sixth. Brody Donay hits seventh as a designated hitter. Aaron Parker bats eighth and does the catching, where Trey Lipsy rounds out the top 9 in right. As there's a strikeout from Rothermel. Nice quick punch out here to get him going, and there's one away.
Rothermel still with 14 strikeouts on the season, despite walks being a little bit of an issue as of late. We'll have to keep that key going ahead in counts early. He has that 4-pitch arsenal, fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball. That time went to a slider lone inside.
You may notice that our camera is a little different than usual, and that's because we have no connection to our typical camera, as White House Field was the victim of a lightning strike within the last 48 hours. And definitely a hectic day at the ballpark. No concession stands and no lights. That's why we have a 5 o'clock start. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball snapped in there for a strike. And so it'll be 1-1. Mariners wearing their home cream uniform, says Mariners across the chest in navy, trimmed in red with navy numbers trimmed in red. Cream pants, blue socks, and the red hats with the Mariner trident on it. 2 balls and a strike now to Zach Earhart, the center fielder for the Harbor Hawks. Here's the 2-1. And it's going to be chopped foul to make it 2-2. Harbor Hawks wearing their royal blue uniform, says Hyannis across the chest in orange and script. Orange number on the back, trimmed in white. They're wearing gray pants with a blue seam. 2-2 is spoiled, and he'll stay alive. Earhart trying to be the first base runner here in the ball game. One away here in the first. Cam Smith on deck. Here comes the 2-2 to Earhart. Spiked in the dirt, and so it'll be 3-2. Muggy night here in Harwich, hovering right around 80 degrees and expected rain. We will see how that fares as the night goes on. And of course, with no lights here, it's going to have to be a 5-inning game for this one to be completed. as that will be ball 4, and Rothermel's issued a walk. Cam Smith now will dig in, out of Florida State, playing third for the Harbor Hawks tonight. He's someone who can do some serious damage at the plate. High hit for average type of guy, hitting .313. First pitch is in there for a strike to make it 0-1. He's also walked 10 times in addition to that .313 batting average and carries an 11-game hit streak into today. 5th highest average in the Cape Cod Baseball League, 0-1. Dropped in there for a strike. It's 0-2. Rothermel looking for a second strikeout early. He's had an up-and-down year here in Harwich, making his 5th appearance for the team, as that one's going to be flied out to right, foul territory. Sauke drifting over, and it's out of play. Rothermel's last appearance came on July 9th, where he went 3 2/3 through 78 pitches. 3 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Not his best outing by any means. 0-2 is spoiled again. Rothermel a 6.75 earned run average, making his 4th start for the M's, has a 10 2/3 innings under his belt, 14 strikeouts to just 10 walks, and he's surrendered 7 hits. Takes a look over at first. Back in there safely is Earhart, who reached with a walk. Still 0-2 the count to Smith, trying to stay alive. He's a dangerous hitter. Rothermel takes another look over, and definitely you can see the runner and Earhart leaning a little bit, maybe thinking about going. He's got some speed. So Rothermel keeping him honest over there at first. Here comes the 0-2. And it's going to be lifted out into the gap in left field and down for a base hit. It gets all the way to the wall. Earhart rounding third, headed home. The play will not even be close, as here comes Cam Smith into third with a head-first slide for a triple. 1-0 Hawks, just like that. Cam Smith finds a gap and uses his speed to give his team the lead.
Florida State third baseman is a prime reason why Hyannis has been able to have such a high-octane hitting lineup as of late. Over its last 4 games in which it's won each of them, averaging 7.5 runs, and no surprise there from the man who has the 5th leading batting average in the Cape Cod League.
So now it'll be the first baseman, Zach York, digging in. He pops up the first pitch he sees over to the shortstop, Camarillo, who's under it and makes the catch. Big out there for Rothermel, and let's meet the Mariner defense. They are 6th in the Cape Cod Baseball League with 35 errors and a .967 fielding percentage. In the outfield, out and left, is Mason Guerra. Devin Obies in center, Casey Sauke in right. Third to first, Seaver King, Ali Camarillo, Daniel Rivera, and Ethan Anderson, while Andrew Yu does the catching. Rothermel comes set. Here's the first pitch now to the 5-hole hitter, Elijah Hainline. 1-0 Hyannis thanks to a triple from Cam Smith. A shot out in the gap. As here's the pitch to Hainline and misses outside. Make it a 2-0 count. 5'10", 185-pound sophomore of Washington State, native of Washington. Pitch misses inside now. And so it'll be 3-0. Rothermel having some control problems all season long. Typically will go just about an eye for an eye, strikeout to walk. 3-0 pitch. Misses outside, and it's a 4-pitch walk issued, the second of the inning from Colin Rothermel. And now runners at the corners with 2 away for Jonathan Gazdar.
Try to slide her low and away that time in the righty-righty battle. Might have tried to go for a fastball high and in as an alternative option, but Hyannis not a strongly walking team this season, only just about the league average with nearly 120. So Rothermel will have to keep that down here in order to prevent Hyannis from erupting here.
Comes the first pitch to Gazdar, shows bunt, pulls it back, and it's going to be a ball anyway. 1-0, 5 straight balls for Colin Rothermel. Gazdar this season hitting .276 across his 8 games played. Rothermel comes set, and here's the 1-0. In there for a strike, 1-1. Recently, the Cape Cod Baseball League announced their All-Stars. We'll get into that throughout the course of the ball game, but the Mariners with, I believe, 6. Nice handful as Andrew Yu fires it down, and we got a pickle. It's going to be one of those set plays, and the Mariners win it this time. Getting caught in a rundown was Elijah Hainline, and he's tagged out before Cam Smith was headed home, and so that's how the inning will end. A wacky way to finish it, but nonetheless, the Mariners able to escape with just the 1 run being scored. 1-0 Hawks. We'll be back on the other side to meet the Mariner lineup. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back into Al Graber press box. Devin Dobeck alongside Wyatt Kopelman here on a very muggy Sunday night as we'll meet the Harwich Mariners order for Coach Steve Engler. Leading off at third base is going to be Seaver King. Batting second, the first baseman, Ethan Anderson. The designated hitter batting third is Kalen Culpepper. Mason Guerra bats fourth in left field. Devin Obie bats fifth in center field. Ali Camarillo is the shortstop, batting sixth. Batting seventh, the right fielder, Casey Selke. Batting eighth, the catcher, Andrew Yu. And batting ninth at second is Daniel Rivera. Seaver King moving over to third base tonight. Culpepper was there yesterday. He becomes the DH, trying to get everyone some reps now. As all of a sudden, after having next to no middle infielders, there's a plethora. 0-1 to Seaver King. Did not record a hit yesterday, which was a bit of a shock, but did have a sacrifice fly to drive, in a run. 0-1. Misses up high, 1-1. On the mound for the Harbor Hawks is going to be Mason Nichols. Right-hander, 6'5", 215 pounds, out of Jackson, Mississippi. Attends Ole Miss. Record of 0-1 coming in today, as he misses there with a ball. 6.57 earned run average, making his sixth appearance in fourth start for the Harbor Hawks. 12 1/3 innings pitched, 12 hits, 9 earned runs, 8 strikeouts to 12 walks. As that one's going to be cracked into shallow left field. Long run in for Mitchell as he loses the hat, makes the catch, and there's one away.
Harwich doesn't want to wait too long in order to get its lineup going here. And it's a right-handed heavy lineup. It's been that way for most of the season. But over the last 10 games, the Mariners hitting just 194 as a team. Not too many RBIs. And they certainly need to get off the board here early, on the board for that matter, against a Hyannis team that has been capable of keeping a low ERA across its 4-game win streak.
Ethan Anderson will dig in, sporting the number 23 today, unlike his usual 38. As that one misses up high for a ball, it's 1-0. Anderson also had a sacrifice fly in the loss yesterday. Harwich did not have more than 2 hits after inning number 3. It was just an offensive game that tapered off. It's going to be a 1-1 count now. Harwich sitting 3 points behind the YD Red Sox, although they've played an extra 2 games. An East Division that is not even nearly as competitive as the West. Harwich would be in 4th place in the West, while they sit at 2nd in the East, as that one's fouled off to make it 1-2 now to Anderson. On deck, Kalen Culpepper due up in the inning. Mariners trying to respond with a run of their own. They trail at 1-0 here. Here comes the 1-2 now to the Virginia product. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. First strikeout for Mason Nichols. And there's going to be 2 away now as we meet the Hyannis Harbor Hawks defense. They are 8th in the Cape Cod Baseball League with 36 errors and a .965 fielding percentage. In the outfield, Nick Mitchell's in left. Zach Earhart's the center fielder with Trey Lipsy in right. Third to first, Cam Smith's at third base. Jonathan Gosdar's at short. Elijah Hainline's the second baseman with Zach York at first. And Aaron Parker doing the catching. First pitch to Culpepper misses, or no, it's going to be in there on the outside corner for a strike. Ryan Demers calling the balls and strikes tonight with Jeff Merzel at third and Chris Engstrand over at first. That is your umpiring crew for this ball game. 0-1. Misses up high, 1-1. Got to be really sticky for those players out there. I mean, it is a warm one, especially with the rainstorm, whether it will be during game time or after. It is got that tangible kind of wetness in the air, if you will. 2 balls and a strike to Kalen Culpepper. He had the first hit of the ball game yesterday for Harwich. An infield single over to third. Here comes the 2-1. Big swing and a miss, and it's going to be 2-2 now. He had the game-winning RBI a couple nights ago to knock off the Wareham Gateman. Harwich desperately in need of a win as the season goes on. Trying to create some separation as that one's bounced in the dirt. It'll be a 3-2 count. Culpepper's worked it full. Mason Guerra, the left fielder, on deck. Culpepper doing the DHing tonight for Harwich. And here's the payoff. And they're going to ring him up. Another strikeout back-to-back, in fact, for Mason Nichols. He retires the side in order. Still 1-0 Hyannis. We'll be back on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.